In a previous video, we talked about the Rk parameter family, parameter set that gives us the ability to separate peaks from the core, from the valleys of a particular surface. Now, if you haven't seen that video, go back and check it out because we're going to build on that concept. The concept of the Rk family was to make that separation of peaks and core and valleys, and we're going to use the material ratio curve to do it. Now, there are some other things we can do with this analysis beyond the three parameters we previously discussed. So as you recall, we're going to find a horizontal region of the curve, and if we extend that horizontal region out, we get the Rk zone of the surface. The height from the endpoints is this height in the surface that we call Rk. But we can also go farther now. If we have this height established, we can extend that height across to the material ratio curve, just like we have this line goes across to the material ratio curve. It hits the curve at a particular point, and that particular point has a material ratio. You'll recall 0 to 100% from our material ratio curve video. So the point where the peaks meet the curve is a material ratio. In fact, we call this point the roughness material ratio number 1. Now, in recent standards, we've added the K to help us remember the parameter family. So roughness material ratio K1. Roughness Rmrk1, and over here where the valley part meets the curve, this is Rmr2 historically, and today we're calling that Rmrk2. So those material ratios are meaningful. That's the amount of material where the core meets the peaks or the valleys. Now, in the previous video on the Rk, Rpk, Rvk parameters, we talked about the peak area as a way of determining an average or effective peak height. That peak area is the area under the curve right here, and that also has a name. Historically, we called that A1, but today we are renaming that to make more sense and to indicate the family of parameters. So instead of A1, it is a roughness profile we're analyzing. It is an area, and we're in the K family, and that's area number 1. So the naming has been improved so we can kind of separate these things. For example, historically, Rmr2 might have meant a material ratio analysis at 2 micrometers of depth. But no, this is actually a name of a parameter, and the Rmrk2 is going to help that out. But the area of the valleys is very interesting to some people. In fact, in many industries, this is called the oil holding volume. This is referred to as RVO in many industries. But in terms of standards, we've called that A1 in the past, and now we're calling this roughness profile or primary. And it's an area in the K family, and it's the number 2 area in that family.